Hey, good evening, everybody. Just a little quick video here. I've got some other stuff that I'm going to be working on yet this evening or this morning. Uh, working third shift, it's sometimes hard to tell, but anyhow, uh, Mr. J, we have you taken care of, big guy. The only thing that's left is to put the tins on it and start boxing it up. So I'll probably start boxing it on Monday, just so that I can go ahead and continue to work on other things right now. But anyhow, we got you taken care of. We went ahead and upgraded your meters on your radio. Got rid of those old dingy bulbs and I still don't understand why they still put those in there, but it is what it is. So that's upgraded, nice and clean and crisp. Reset your signal meter so that it actually shows the correct rating, and everything else actually turned out beautiful on this. Thankfully this radio was as close to virgin as possible whenever I received it, and that is very, very nice. So let's go ahead and camera moved around here real quick. Go through a few things here with you. All right. Get this into the shot here a little bit. All right. So one of the first things that we did, obviously, is check everything out. I went ahead and did the power modifications that we discussed on the phone about. You're going to see that there's a small heat sink right back here. I added this as close as I could for the voltage regulator. And the reason why is because usually whenever you're hammering on a radio hard, the regulators usually get, pretty hot. So still got a little bit of moose juice there on the side of the transit, or on the side of that there. Anyhow, so I like trying to add a small heat sink, especially on the bases. It's real easy to do. So I went ahead and added a heat sink here. There again, just to help dissipate a little more heat. You're going to see back here, we added the other goodies that you'd asked about. Well, hello, Bruce. What's going on, big guy? Yep, everything seems to be pretty decent. Just work, and trying to fit my wife into my life since she's not physically here. Just a lot going on in very, very short time, since I don't get a whole lot of weekends off. But anyways, we've got your direct inject wired up back here. So I used a really high-end jack for that. I've got to where I really like using these for a lot of different repairs. So I keep those on hand. I put that in there. Went ahead and set up, just so that I know it could not get confused. This is set up with a RCA plug for your key down. This way you can key and unkey the radio. So we got that taken care of. You're on call this weekend. Well, I'm usually on call 3 weeks, 3 weeks out of the month. Actually, I'm physically there 3 weeks out of the month. So yeah, I know what you're doing there. But yeah, you got to work the weekend. You got a new home to pay for. I seen the demolition there, big guy. But anyways, like I said, we got that taken care of here. We went ahead and replaced the regulator on the inside. See if we can get in there. There's multiple different types out there that a lot of people are using. I've still got a bunch of them, and I've had really good success. I know there's a Toshiba replacement as well, which I will probably look into as soon as this batch of Max Mods is gone, because the price is like 5 times what they originally were when I started buying those. So, and I think the Toshiba is actually a little less in physical price. But anyways, we upgraded the regulator there again. That way, you can ratchet jaw just a little longer on the radio, since they do dissipate heat more evenly across the heat sink. Um, so they do actually seem to reduce the internal heat, and that's what we're after anyways. So we did the famous bullet mod, along with the appropriate adjustments and changes down on the main circuit board. Upgraded your input filter cap here, the one over by the audio chip as well. Go ahead and just add a little more stabilization for the power. We went ahead and upgraded and removed a couple of jumpers back here that are, because you're drawing quite a bit of current off of that, and you're drawing everything through for the finals. If I can get a hold of one. Oh, matter of fact, right there's one of the old jumpers. So we upgraded the 2 jumpers on the inside that feed your main transistors from this little bitty feller. That's it's the size of a almost the size of a thick piece of hair. So we went ahead and removed the 2 jumpers that are in there like that, replaced it with a piece of 18 gauge so that we can go ahead and feed that. Went ahead and beefed up, if you will, the suspension, which is also the trace, where I went ahead and laid a copper wire in and soldered it into the main trace as well to go ahead and help stabilize all your power back here as well. So, lots of power upgrades. The hi-fi turned out very well as far as on the receive. I seen an average, at least with what my hearing still allows me, where we can go up to about 10,000 kilohertz and go down to approximately around 100. So 100 hertz. So nice big wide range. You'll probably hear even more than that. And that's based on your speaker configurations as well, which would discuss that. So, well, hello, Popcorn. I see you popped in there too. Which after we get through with this one, I'm going to probably set it up on the bench after I get it open. I've got an amplifier that we're going to be going through here. So this is getting close to the last of the Mohicans. I've still got several radios that are going to be in and amongst the whole scenario over this next year. Some of which are my own personal radios that I've either promised out to people that if I ever got to them. So I need to reduce some of my inventory on a lot of different radios and things like that I've got laying around. So yeah, we need to go through all that and like I said, start sifting through, if you will. I've got a couple of Cobra 2000s that are going to be coming up. I think a Cobra 148. Trying to think here. Like I said, I've just got a lot of miscellaneous radios that I want to try to sell and get rid of. I need the room, to be honest with you. So, like I said, just a lot of little different things that just need to be gone through and just put up for sale. I've got for somebody that's wanting to tinker or what have you. I've got frequency counters. Basically, a lot of my old equipment that I've upgraded still works fine, but I'm looking to put it up for sale and get rid of some of the different things that I've used here for many, many years. Just upgraded in order to go ahead and go further into some other alternate dimensions, if you will, of repairs and work and what have you. So, that's kind of what that's all about. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much enough about the about that part. One of the other things too is, again, we did the key up circuit. Right now I'm actually hooked into my own personal microphone that I use, so I've got it set however I've got it set. So let's kind of show you that the direct inject is working. Remember, because this is not a modulator and it is not a ASA mod, which the modulator doesn't work on sideband anyways, but the ASA mod, because of the way they wire it in, it actually is capable of being used in a sideband fashion. So remember, this is just for the AM side, but we'll get into some other numbers here in a minute. Let me make sure which one I've got hooked up. Okay, so we are hooked up to the meter. So I'll give you a quick rundown here. 50 watt slug in 1x position for our PEP, 25 watt slug in RMS, going back to the, well, actually right now we've got it going to the antenna instead of to the bird dummy load. So I'm not going to be on the radio too long, so I don't have to worry about that too much. And we will pull our microphone here into the picture. Just leave it right there since we're only going to be concerned about these two. The other meter is just a reflect meter, so yeah, it's no big deal. So I'm just going to use a jumper since I don't have anything pre-wired for that type of jack. In order to go ahead and key it. Hello, audio. Audio. Hello, hello, hello. So we've got the direct inject, which is working just as it should. And you'll have to tailor that all to your own personal liking. It may be set just a little hot for this particular radio, but it's not for mine. I just leave all my settings exactly the same for my radio because, I mean, it's just for test. You know, as long as you know you got modulation going in and out, you know, the rest of it's all tailored in based on, you know, based on your own personal likes and tastes. So, all right. Grab the regular microphone, plug that into the front here. Dun, dun, dun. So we're going to be using this. All right. So one of the other things too that we did, that we talked about, turn the static down here. Turn this down over here so we can use the 5-watt slug to show. Since this radio only went up to a 5-watt carrier, we went ahead and made some changes on that. So, you know, you're going to be able to go down just below a 1/2 watt. And the only reason why I do that is so that you can go ahead and bring it up off of the dead stop on the potentiometer. Oftentimes you'll find that the potentiometers have got kind of a quirky little spot right there all the way down. Not all of them do, but a majority of them do. So that way it'll let you bring it back up to 1/2 watt, and that way we can go from there. So AM mode, and this is actually on the antenna. So I've got a little, oh yeah, that's right. I don't have that much reflect. All right, so 1/2 watt, you know, essentially a 1/2 watt all the way down. Hello, audio. So we got 50 watts on the PEP, audio, and about 17 bird. So let's bring this up, because these usually start shining really good about 2.5 watts. And it's just easier to look at a 5-watt slug whenever you're down on the lower end of the spectrum. So hello, audio. So almost 25 RMS out of 2.5 watt dead key. So, you know, you're going to pick up some good RMS. You're still going to do the same, 50 watts on the PEP. We can do the 2 times, but you're not going to see much of a change. Audio, audio. Yeah, maybe a watt. So, anyways, but yeah, really good as far as going up. The carrier, I've got you set at about an 8-watt dead key. So between a half watt to 8 watts, I think that's going to give you a good good variation. You know, like I said, I know it only went up to about 5, maybe 6 watts to start with, and that was about it. The low end, I think, was like a watt, watt and a half. So, you know, very narrow band that you originally had to work with. Now you've got all kinds of room to work with. Let's go over here to the sideband, and we're going to turn all the way down to start with. Audio, 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 audio. So I usually keep the modulation a little on the lower side, just because of sideband being like it is. So, you know, it is tuned up, but remember you do have your RF power. We're going to go at 12 o'clock on the knob here. Audio, audio. You're going to see where I peg out on our 25 watt RMS. So let's go over here to the average. Let's look at the average for the sideband. Audio. So there's 30 watts. Let's go all the way up on the RMS or on the RF power. Audio. Audio. You're going to see about 35 bird all the way wide open. So again, it's going to give you a good range of motion for your sideband. Back to the AM. Still got my typical bacon frying. Haven't heard anybody out there this evening. Nobody on 38 lower. Okay, so anyhow, yeah, like so, I think that's pretty much everything. You know, we've got, you know, we checked the alignment on it. We're transmitting good. I'll show a little bit here real quick. Hook up. There again, I'm not sure what you can hear or not hear as far as on your speakers. We'll do a quick input test here for the receiver. Let's see. Set this radio back just a little bit. Okay. Since I've already got my signal generator set for channel 20, that's standard 1000 hertz tone, but we're going to take and drop that down here. Alright. So we go kind of low signal there. Let's go up one more for the clarity of it here. And let's see here. Carrier. Let's see, frequency. And modulation frequency, like I said, right now we're at 1000 kilohertz on the tone. I'll lay the microphone down here. Because it's going to kind of suck with the original speaker in there. But it's 4,000, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. 10, that speaker actually puts receiving it. Down here slowly. Yeah. 9100 is, or 9100 kilohertz is where that speaker finally lets go at. Down a little lower because I know that the speaker is 140. 150 is pretty good. 140, the speaker just can't really handle that lower frequency. And then I can still hear it at 120, but it's almost non-existent with the internal speakers. So. All right, so like I said, as far as what you're going to be able to hear is a lot, especially when you look up the original specifications on this. But all right, big guy, I'm going to go ahead and put the tins back on this, close this up, set it off to the side so that I can go ahead and work on the 8-pill that I've got. So, all right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll get with you a little bit later. Have a good evening, guys. Do what?